Now in this session we see the construction and working of a semiconductor laser, that is principal construction and working of a semiconductor laser as a part of module 4 quantum mechanics and lasers. Now we see the semiconductor laser. Here what we are discussing is gallium arsenide semiconductor laser. What exactly is the principle involved in a semiconductor laser? Now we see, in a forward biased PN junction, conduction band electrons from the N-type combine with the valence band holes in the P-type near the depletion region, and the radiation is emitted in the form of a photons. We know that a forward biased PN junction is heavily doped. If we take a gallium arsenide of heavily doped biased, PN junction is forward biased. So what will happen? The electrons in the conduction band from the N-type combined with the holes in the P-type which are lying in the valence band near the depletion region, and the radiation is emitted in the form of a photon. That means hole and electron are combining near the depletion region from the conduction band to the valence band. So this is leading to a emission of photons. Here we are seeing when is it happening? In the forward bias condition near the depletion region. The PN junction is heavily doped and large current is made to flow through the junction to create a population inversion, so that we can have a stimulated emissions. We know that conduction band is at a higher energy level and valence band is at a lower energy level. So what is happening when the electrons from the conduction band which are at higher energy levels combined with the holes in the valence band which are in the lower energy region? So what is happening? The electrons from the conduction band at higher energy level combines with the holes in the valence band which are at lower energy level. So energy is given out in the form of a radiation, and it constitutes a stimulated emission because it is causing a stimulated emission because of pumping mechanism, and small ignition leads to the stimulated emission. So materials like gallium arsenide is a semiconductor. If it is a heavily doped PN junction, if it is forward biased, electrons from the conduction band of N-type combined with the valence band holes in the P-type near the depletion region, and the radiation is emitted in the form of a photon. This is a heavily doped junction. It is nothing junction diode. It is gallium arsenide laser. So this is the principle involved in the semiconductor laser. Now we see the construction. Here gallium arsenide we have taken as a semiconductor which is heavily doped, consisting of N and P type sections. Now here you can see, here it is a P type, gallium arsenide P type, and this is an N type. Metallic contacts are provided to a PN type in a heavily doped junction to provide a forward bias. Forward bias means positive to P type is connected to positive and N type is connected to negative. So it is a forward biasness. Now here forward biasness is causing a pumping mechanism in this semiconductor diode laser. Now what is the construction? Here it consists of a P type and N type. Metallic contacts are being provided to provide the forward biasness. Here two opposite faces perpendicular to the plane of junction are polished. Here this perpendicular to the plane of junction are polished and made parallel to each other, which constitute a resonant cavity, and laser light is obtained through this. You can see here the laser light is coming out in this. So this is a active region, and here it has been, this side is partially polished, the other side is completely polished. So this is acting like a resonant cavity, and the laser light is coming. You can see the directions here. This is a laser beam that is coming out. So this is a simple construction. Here the active region is the junction of PN junction is nothing but an active region. So what exactly is happening here is gallium arsenide laser, a heavily doped P and N type gallium arsenide is forward biasness, and it is fully silvered this side and partially silvered to get the light here. The depletion region or the junction of P and N is nothing but an active region. Now we see the working of a semiconductor diode laser. Now here you can see, here in an unbiased diode, see here this is an unbiased, the energy levels you can see. This is an N type, this is here, this is a P type. You can see here this is a P type and this is an N type. This is an unbiased diode energy level configuration. You can see here, you can see the uppermost level of valence band and the bottommost layer of conduction band for a p-type. We know that in a p-type semiconductor, excess of holes in the valence band. So Fermi energy level is just below the uppermost part of the valence band. So EF is lying in the valence band. EF, Fermi energy, is lying just below the upper layer of the valence band here. Because in p-type, majority charge carriers are electrons, so Fermi energy lies in the valence band. Coming to the n-type semiconductor, we know that in an n-type semiconductor, majority charge carriers are electrons which are lying in the conduction band. So Fermi energy level lies in the conduction band. In an unbiased, if you can see here from this diagram here, in an unbiased diode, Fermi energy level is the line where Fermi energy lies in the conduction band for n-type and Fermi energy lies in the valence band of p-type. And the region between these two, this is called as a depletion region. So this is an unbiased diode. Now what is the major principle involved here is the forward bias. If you increase the forward biasness, the pumping is being done. What is happening the moment the pumping is being done? You can see here the forward biasness is increased, which is nothing but a pumping. The moment the forward biasness is increased here, the energy levels shifts. That means EF in the conduction band moves up. You can see the displacement of energy levels of EF in the conduction band, and similarly here EV in the p-type and EF is been, there is a displacement of energy levels here. Fermi level in the valence band of p-type and Fermi level conduction band of n-type. So what is happening here, as the forward biasness increases, more and see depletion region is decreased. Depletion region has been decreased. Forward biasness is increased means more and more number of electrons are accumulating in the n-type and more holes are accumulating in the p-type across the junction. Depletion region decreases and this becomes an active region. So what is happening? Electrons in the conduction band of n-type is at higher energy level and the holes in the valence band of p-type are in the lower energy band. So a small instigation, small ignition of any spontaneous emission will ignite the stimulated emission, making the atoms to come from, making the electrons from higher energy state to the lower energy states, leads to the stimulated emission. Spontaneous emission ignites the stimulated emission. This emitted photon again in turn make other electrons to come down. So what is happening? The photon liberated by the spontaneous emission is instigating, and this stimulated photon given by the stimulated emission again instigates the electrons to come down. So what is happening? The same characteristics as that of the incident photon is being taken over and the stimulated emission is being ignited. Thereby you are getting electrons in the higher energy state comes to the hole, combines with the hole in the lower energy state, leads to the stimulated emission and it will ignite the stimulated emission. So this is the principle involved in the, and this is the working of it. Heavily doped p-n junction at the Fermi level, the whatever I have explained, it is been mentioned over here. So what exactly is happening here is, in an unbiased diode, the Fermi energy level in a p-type lies in the valence band and in an n-type lies in the conduction band. When the forward biasness is increased, what will happen? The depletion region decreases. Forward biasness causes the population inversion, thereby more electrons are coming in and sitting in the conduction band of n-type and more number of holes are sitting in the valence band, which is at a lower energy state. So due to which this is a population inversion, because number of electrons are lying in the higher energy state compared to the number of electrons in the lower energy state. So population inversion has been achieved. Now transitions takes place and giving rise to stimulated emissions. This is the working of a semiconductor diode laser. Now here the semiconductor laser have a low power consumption which is compact and highly efficient, but laser output is less monochromatic and little more divergent compared to the CO2 laser. Also only pulsed mode of output is being obtained. Gallium arsenide laser produces a laser beam of around 8400 angstrom. They are used in optical communication system using optical fiber. Semiconductor laser is used in a regular engineering physics laboratory to find out the wavelength of a given laser using diffraction method. It is also extensively used in reading devices for compact displays. Thank you.